And even at that, we're able to take over control and ensure that the herders did not continue with that kind of lifestyle that they are bringing from elsewhere to our state. And we reminded everybody that we have laws governing Bayelsa State, and one of it is anti-open grazing, and that nobody should bring his cattle or herds to Bayelsa and begin to go into farmlands, and harass and intimidate the
Fulani Herdsmen rejected. Bayelsa activates anti-grazing law, break it and suffer the consequences. Hello and welcome to Niger Star News, your #1 channel for the latest political updates in Nigeria. Today we bring you a major development from Bayelsa State. Governor Duye Diri has taken a strong stand against open grazing, warning Fulani herdsmen to stay out or face serious consequences. What does this mean for security in Bayelsa? How will this affect the ongoing tensions between farmers and herdsmen? And what actions is the government taking to enforce this ban? Stay with us till the end as we break it all down. Governor Diri recently chaired the 37th Bayelsa State Security Council meeting, and he did not hold back. At the meeting, he reminded security commanders that Bayelsa has laws, and one of them strictly bans open grazing. This means no cattle roaming into farmlands, no destruction of crops, and no intimidation of local farmers. Governor Diri's message was clear. If you bring cows into Bayelsa for open grazing, you will be arrested. We will not allow herdsmen to break our laws. This decision comes after past incidents where herdsmen allegedly trespass on farmlands, leading to clashes and even loss of lives. But Bayelsa is not taking chances anymore. Governor Diri did not just warn herdsmen, he also put security agency on high alert. He praised the service commanders for maintaining peace but told them to remain vigilant. We have laws in this state. Nobody should violate them. We must ensure that Bayelsa remains safe and secure for everyone. The governor made it clear that any herdsman caught violating the law will face serious punishment. But this leads to an important question: how will Bayelsa enforce this ban? To make sure this law is followed, Governor Diri has outlined strict conditions for anyone wanting to bring cattle into the state. Herdsmen must buy land. If you want to rear cattle in Bayelsa, you must purchase land, fence it, and keep your animal in one place. No roaming allowed. There will be no open grazing, no moving cows through communities, and no trespassing on farmlands. Governor Diri made it very clear. You want to sell your cattle? Fine, but don't bring them here to roam freely. Buy land, fence it, and keep them in one place. This move is in line with Bayelsa's anti-open grazing law, which aim to protect local farmers and ensure peaceful coexistence. Now, let's break this down further. Bayelsa is not the first state to ban open grazing. States like Benue, Ondo, and Ekiti have also taken similar steps to prevent clashes between farmers and herdsmen. But here is the big question: will this decision increase tension between Bayelsa and northern herders, or will it finally bring peace to the region? Let's hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Governor Diri has sent a strong message, and Bayelsa's security forces are now on high alert. Will Fulani herdsmen respect this law? Will the government fully enforce the ban? And what will happen if someone dares to break the law? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear: Bayelsa is not backing down. Stay tuned to Niger Star News for updates on this developing story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking news. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Shall we please put our hands together for His Excellency the Governor?
Thank you, the MC. Your Excellency, my very supportive and resourceful Deputy Governor of Ade State, the Secretary to Government of the State, service commanders, members of the State Security Council, I welcome you to this 37th State Security Council meeting. And in fact, when I was told that this is the first for this year, I didn't truly believe. It shows that the service commanders are working. Because I thought the last meeting we had was in January, but looking at the minutes, it was in December. And so if there was no peace and security, we would have been meeting more often. So I want to thank you all for keeping the peace and getting our state secured. Once again, let's put our hands together for them. And so I'd like to commend you for the synergy that is existing amongst various security agencies in the state and with the government of the state, particularly during even the festivity period of New Year and Christmas, and we recorded no security issues up until now. And again, we had our 5 years in office, and we tried to mark those 5 years in office, and all of it went smoothly. All the commissionings and everything, visitors that came, everybody came and was commending the state for the security and the peace. And so it is not just those of us the steering, it is also all of us in the inside of the vehicle who have piloted the state to safety. I also recall the seeming security threat was the issue of headers coming into farmlands, and there were instances that we had 1 or 2 persons were killed, and even at that we were able to take over control and ensure that the headers did not continue with that kind of lifestyle that they are bringing from elsewhere to our state. And we reminded everybody that we have laws governing Bayelsa state, and one of it is anti-open grazing, and that nobody should bring his cattle or herds to Bayelsa and begin to go into farmlands, and harass and intimidate the rightful owners of the place. And I want to commend the security, because we actually went into it and ensured that anybody that was seen was so arrested, and we put the situation under control. And so going forward, I still want to charge you to be vigilant. And let us not allow our laws to be trampled upon by anybody in the state. That's the beauty of a federal system of government. You have federal government laws, you have state government laws. And so when you come into a state, you look at the state laws, and particularly laws that will actually lead to peace and security for service commanders. And so I appreciate you for ensuring that our laws are not being trampled on, and we will continue to ensure that cattle rearers do not come into Bayelsa to do open grazing. If you want to sell your cattle, you are free to do so, but not to come and do open grazing. If you want to do that, go and buy land. Buy your land, fence it, and keep your cattle in one place. And government will be aware that there is grazing taking place here. So that's the other one. And then the only other crisis that attracted everybody's attention is the political crisis in Rivers State that attracted the attention of the whole of Nigeria. So up till now, people are still talking about it. That attracted the #1 citizen of the country to declare a state of emergency. And not only declaring a state of emergency, also ensuring that the political structures in the state were suspended. And it's a democratic government, so you have arguments for and against the suspension particularly, because state of emergency is embedded in our constitution. And if the conditions in Rivers State are such that the president believes that the national security is threatened, he has the powers to do so, which he did. And the other discussion is whether the president had powers to suspend an elected government of a state. I think that was the area that is still being under discussion. Well, be that as it may, we are a sister state, and we know that that can affect our state. And so we were very careful not to dive into that those issues. But for us, particularly in our party, as a sitting governor who was part of us, and then in our South-South region, I issued a statement, and I'm sure most of us saw that statement. And even in that statement, it was not derogatory, it was not insulting. We only pleaded with the president to restore elected authorities in the state, and also sued for dialogue. Because whatever happens in every crisis, we still come back to the round table to achieve peace. So what we did was to appeal to the president to ensure that there is dialogue and let peace be restored to Rivers State. But within this period, we also had some issues in our party, the People's Democratic Party, where some members decided to form parallel zonal executives in our zone. And by the constitution of our party, we as governors are leaders of the party in our states. And so we took a position, and all the 4 governors from the zone took a position. And whatever elections that were held in Benin was not powered by the National Working Committee of our party. And they depended on us and the party chairman of these states. And so finally, we were able to clear that. And the National Working Committee issued a letter and an announcement that nobody should go and do any election in Calabar. But those who are bent on fomenting crisis went ahead to do their elections in Calabar. And the National Working Committee of the party rejected that zonal convention where elections were held. Because we also wrote to them that we were not prepared for that. And we were invited, and we now agreed to set up a caretaker committee for the zone. The National Working Committee so empowered it, and the caretaker committee was set up by the National Working Committee. And I attended that program in Abuja. Now, some persons from this state, particularly one George Turner, who is a member of that group, is threatening the peace of this state. And recently there is a Facebook report with his own number that is going to host the Minister of FCT in Tombia roundabout in Bayelsa. The minister is not from Bayelsa State. This is not FCT. This is Bayelsa State. All service commanders should be at alert. That meeting must not take place in Bayelsa State. He can host his minister anywhere outside Bayelsa State. And I direct further that no public place, no public school, no public place, infrastructure should be used by anybody except by the approval of the state government. Every public facility in this state owned by the Bayelsa state government, nobody can use it except with the express approval of the Bayelsa state government. And nobody should import and export insecurity in their states to Bayelsa state. And so service commanders, you are put on alert that any of such gatherings should not and will not hold in Bayelsa State. There is a government in place here, and this government and the security agencies have worked tirelessly to keep the peace of this state. If somebody cannot take care of their state, they shouldn't import it to where we have peace. The people of Bayelsa, the Ijaw people are peace-loving people. I said it yesterday in the Ijaw National Congress Summit. And I place it on record that Ijaw people are not fighting federal government. We are rather supporting the government of Tinubu for what he is doing in Bayelsa State, particularly for giving the contract of phase 2 of Nembe Brass Road. And the contractor has come to report himself. And like Oliver Twist, we are asking for more for Ekeremo Age Road to partner with us, for Oporoma Ukubie Koluama Road to partner with us. And we are happy that the president is doing that. So why will anybody want to set the Ijaw people against the federal government? It's a childish joke. The Ijaw people are much more educated, much more. The Ijaw people have sacrificed for this country and will continue to sacrifice for this country, for the peace, progress, and development of Nigeria. And so I want to thank you again and again and ensure that our state will remain peaceful for this period and beyond. Finally, recently this accident along Masoma Road have started again. If you remember, there was a time we have a surge, and I think the road safety here in this meeting were able to put it, nip it in the bud. And so maybe today we'll talk about that again. And I'd like to call on the road users themselves, drivers and all that, to be very careful. It's easy to say, oh, government, come and do this, government, come and do this. Somebody cannot be drunk and be behind the steering. And somebody cannot be very careless coming into a road. So the road users have to be very careful and obedient to all driving rules. That's not the only road in Bayelsa, but we always have accident complaints on that route. And so the road safety and members of council, that's one issue that I think that we again have to stop finally, so that we put our eyes more on that route. We don't want to continue to lose very promising Bayelsans. The recent one, I was told, was a lecturer and a professor or so, or somebody who was almost becoming a professor, was killed in that accident. And it's so sad and it's so painful. May his soul rest in peace. All right, thank you. So the security meeting is called to order.